You know, I've been falsely accused of mansplaining. I'm not mansplaining. I'm old mansplaining. Subscribe to the channel, you bastard. Where are my good glasses? Has anybody seen my good glasses? Will I have to get up to do that? How am I supposed to know? I don't know. Go on the Google machine. What the hell do I know? That's not what I said. I mean, it's what I meant, but it's not what I said. What do you mean, what did I mean? That's not what I meant was... What do you mean, you can't say that either? What the hell am I listening to? Someone turn that shit off!
Telephone booths are the reason why people my age were not scared of COVID. Telephone booths, you remember those things? You remember how disgusting they were? And we went in them every day. We thought we were lucky if we found an empty one, right? You'd walk in, oh, an empty phone booth. You'd walk in, close that door behind you, and now you're in this, like, coffin, and it's like, ooh, hobo urine, that's a nice smell, I like that. Oh, that guy was drinking Muscatel, I can tell by the bouquet. Then you pick up the handset, right? And what was in that concave earpiece? Oh my God, other people's dandruff, earwax and shit. Mouthpiece? Oh, I don't know. Bubble gum, hooker lipstick, all kinds of crazy shit.
Today's episode is about connecting with other generations. I struggle. I try so hard to connect with everybody. People older than me, there are not that many left that are older than me, and all those much younger than me. And I find it a challenge. I'm trying really hard. But like if you're someone who still carries, this stuff, still carries cash, knows how to read and fold a map, used to beat the phone company with collect calls, kind of person who would use cursive more than they ever did emojis. If you open beer cans with flip tops, you use your bedroom speaker as a place to hide your stash, if you were your father's TV remote control, if you were legally in a bar at 18, you smoked on an airplane, then I know we're going to connect. And I do. I want to learn from everybody. I enter the conversation willing to learn, hoping to connect. But sometimes these exchanges go sideways very quickly. When they happen, I get the okay boomer snark. I just found out that I'm not a boomer and I'm not Gen X. I'm actually what's called Generation Jones. I didn't know this, but Generation Jones is a real thing. And since I'm scared of AI robot voices, I'm going to tell you what it is in one of those old AM radio educational movie voices. The definition of Generation Jones. Generation Jones is a generation or social cohort between the baby boom and Generation X. The term was coined by American cultural commentator Jonathan Pontel, who argues that the term refers to a full generation and distinct generation born between 1954 and 1965. See, I'm not an old man. I knew what old men do, and I'm not doing any of that stuff. Like, for instance, old men would leave their dentures everywhere when they weren't out. They leave them in glasses of water. They leave on coffee tables, end tables. They leave them on buffet tables at the early bird lunch. I don't leave my dentures anywhere. You know why? Dental implants took that away. Old men would put tennis balls on top of their antenna to find their car when they left the mall. I don't do that. Well, one, there's no more malls, and two, the clicky thing has taken that all away from me. And oh, by the way, those clicky things used to be much louder. I guess the sound is it to trying to stay within the local zoning ordinances or something. I don't know. And old men give bad driving directions. You can't do that anymore. GPS took all that away. And I was looking forward to giving bad directions because I would always love to give a cheap bastard. I'd make sure he goes over some kind of toll somewhere. Old men would send birthday checks. I had an uncle who used to send me birthday checks, and as he got older and older, his handwriting got more and more feeble. It got to the point where I couldn't even deposit the check. The bank wouldn't let me, and I felt so bad, I never told him about it. I was looking forward to being an old man doing the same thing. I'd send birthday checks. They wouldn't be able to cash them. That money would be in my account. I'd go to the track, and I'd make some money on some horses. Venmo took all that away from me. And the other thing is, old men never used to take the time to learn or explore the feelings of younger generations. The old men never cared about it. Now that I'm the old man, I'm really trying to understand. For instance, the effect that COVID had on these kids. I mean, everything, high school proms, college educations, college experience, first jobs, dating, it was all taken away from them because of COVID. No wonder they're angry and they feel isolated. And I would try to tell them if they ever wanted to, let me share. I had the same experience. When I was 19 years old in 1979, the world broke out, not into COVID, but something nearly as bad. It was called disco fever. And I couldn't dance. What these kids do today, I would love to have done that when I was their age. Like dancing, for instance. If I could have just saw a girl and her butt and walk up right behind her and do that Humpty Hump twerky thing without having to ask a girl to dance, it would be Sat Twerk Day Night Fever for me every night. These kids get mocked for always using filters before they publish a picture. I had acne so bad when I was their age. You could have put president of the leprosy club under my yearbook picture. So I would use filters. I'd use filters I would go through more filters than they do at the Flint, Michigan water plant. I am their ally. What am I going to do? They want the cranky old man? That's what they get. So I recently did a gig with a 22-year-old comic, and he just gets in the car, and he's like, so, dude, what's the address to the hotel? I said, I know it. I know where I'm going. I was there last year. He goes, yeah, and he pulls out, he goes, but I need it for my GPS. I said, well, why do you need it for your GPS? I'm driving. He's going through all this anxiety because he couldn't put the address in his GPS, even though he wasn't driving. Well, do you have directions? Do you have directions? I said, yeah, of course I have directions to the place. They sent me a fax. They printed the MapQuest directions. I got it. I got this covered. We're good. Well, what if there's traffic? I said, that's why we're going to listen to AM radio the whole trip. It's got sports, weather, and traffic every 8 minutes. He goes, you know what, dude? I'm just going to grab my buds. I said, you know what? I grabbed mine too. Well, he put his in his ears. I flipped mine. I go, here's to a good road trip, kid. He goes, dude, you're married a long time. I go, yeah. He goes, how long are you married? I said, a little over 40 years. Dude, you're old. I was like, well, I'm from the mid-1900s. I don't I landed here from outer space in a 72 Pinto wearing a Hay-Band leisure suit. He goes, yeah, but dude, you're married over 40 years. I go, yeah, but our wedding pictures were not in black and white. There wasn't some guy in the waiting room with a Civil War uniform on, under a blanket guy going, it wasn't like that. I mean, granted, they were color pictures, but we had to wait a couple of weeks before we could see the proofs. But still, I'm not that old. So he's trying to explain to me how crypto works. I pretended to understand. And he did the same to me when I explained to him the concept of traveler's checks. No, dude, let me chip in for gas. So, okay. And then he does this with his phone. He's like holding up his phone. I'm like, what are you going to do with that? He goes, I'm going to chip in for gas. I'm like, is there a $20 bill folded inside your phone? And I go, do you have cash in case of an emergency? He's like, no. What? Don't understand how a grown-ass man can leave his house without cash in his pocket. I'm not judging. I just don't understand. And then I started talking hoops. He starts talking hoops. I'm like, oh, I'm a big Knicks fan. So am I. It's great. We start talking basketball. It's great. I said, you know what? They're on the West Coast tonight. Yeah. I go, I like the way they're looking lately. I go, you know what? I'm going to throw a couple of bucks on them. He's like, so am I. He goes, what app do you use? I said, app? He goes, yeah, what app do you use to bet? I go, my app is So I call in my bet. I'm like, yeah, this is Buddha. I like the Knicks 5 times and give me the over. And I hang up. What, did you just make a bet with a gangster? No, yeah, okay, we'll go with gangster. Okay. I go, yeah, but you bet with your app. I go, what if you get in over your head? He goes, well, I never do. If I do, I said, if I get in over my head, I meet a guy named Tiny, who's 6'5", 362 pounds, and he has a baseball bat. That's why I never get in over my head. So then we start talking baseball. Kid played a little baseball. And then he looks at me and goes, yeah, I'm from the everybody gets a trophy generation. He thought I was going to mock him. It's like, why? I have no problems with the everybody gets a trophy generation. You know why? I'm pretty sure my generation started not as the parents, as the kids. Okay, so here's what our coaches coached to win. They coach. If you were a kid who had 2 hits and you're coming up for your 3rd at bat and there's men on base, the coach would go out to the pitcher's mound and tell the pitcher to put one in your ear. They taught us to go cleats up into second base. These were old World War II and Korean War veterans. They had first place trophies, second place trophies, and little tiny trophies about this big. I mean, like Sonny Bono covering Shaquille O'Neal small. Inch-high Private Eye small. The most humiliating trophy to go get up and receive as a participant. It was this big. In fact, I still have mine. Send me tom@tombriscoe.com. Follow me on all the social stuffs. Follow me on the FaceTubes and hit that subscribe button. Will I have to get up to do that? How am I supposed to know? I don't know. Go on the Google machine. What the hell do I know? That's not what I said. I mean, it's what I meant, but it's not what I said. What do you mean? What did I mean? That's not what I meant was. What do you mean? You can't say that either? What the hell am I listening to? Someone turn that shit off!